this is Picture Black here, and welcome to Underworld Update number 70, which is a general sort of collection update video for the 70th instalment of Underworld Updates. Quite a big number. Nothing massively special for such a milestone, although I'm going to be showing some pretty sweet stuff in this video. Going to be displaying 12 pieces of merchandise in this video today, 2 miscellaneous 10 books, and at the end of this video I will be including I guess you could say bonus footage of what footage I actually recorded for the scrapped original plan for Underworld Updates number 69, the previous one. So 3 of the 12 books will be displayed in that. So without further ado, let us begin this collection update with the miscellaneous merchandise. First one is DWM, Doctor Who The Essential Guide, Adventures in Space, Doctor Who's Greatest Missions to the Unknown, which I have had a look at, and it is a very good sort of Doctor Who magazine so far. Absolutely fantastic. Doctor Who merchandise, displays some fantastic photographs and stuff I've never seen before. One of the most interesting ones of which is this here, which is the sort of crew of the BBC, or crew of Doctor Who, sort of preparing a Dalek embryo mutant for Dalek's master plan, Destruction of Time. So yeah, it got some very interesting sort of concept artwork to it and everything. Very sort of interesting stuff overall. Some stuff that was actually featured in the Vault book, if I know my books correctly, which hopefully I do, otherwise that'd be embarrassing. But either way, this is just a very nice sort of Doctor Who book overall, and yeah, it is very good and I would recommend it. So there's that. Next little bit and final piece of sort of miscellaneous Doctor Who merchandise is a little charity shop bargain that I that move this a bit closer to the cameras. This is very small. As you can see, this is Doctor Who playing cards that was released back in the 1990s, back in 1996 to promote the television movie, I do believe. I could be wrong about that, but I stumbled across this today in a charity shop for only £3, and I thought, why not? Be an interesting little bit for my collection. So yeah, very good quality. These are very good condition rather, even though this is like 20-odd bits of merchandise right here. So very sort of interesting, high quality stuff overall. Some very interesting sort of pics and cards, such as you've got an animated Richard E. Grant, I believe that's William Russell from Marco Polo, Tony Shelby, First Doctor, a rather disturbing picture of the Second Doctor, which I've just realised is the Second Doctor from the cover of Twilight of the Gods, the Virgin Missing adventure. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Maybe they used him in Photoshop or something for that, but or maybe should have just painted him, which is the most likely. Oh, nice one of Susan there. So yeah, very nice sort of charity shop bargain overall. Probably going to play these if I don't know how to play cards, which I actually don't, believe it or not. So yeah, there is that very nice sort of set of cards overall. Nice bit of foreboding right here. So yeah, nice little charity shop bargain. Very good condition for how old these are. About 21 years old, I would say, at least 2 decades. So yeah, very good condition for the time, and for only £3 you really can't go wrong with that. Very good sort of Doctor Who bargain, I would personally say overall. So yeah, there is that, a lovely little pack of Doctor Who playing cards for only £3. And now on to the books. So, first Doctor Who book, we actually have 2 Target novelisations from this massive bookshop that I am actually currently very near right now. I'm on holiday currently, and in a place called Alnwick in England, Alnwick, and I'm living in my holiday home quite close to this massive bookshop called Barter Books, and pretty epic bookshop to say the least. Such as I looked on the website before I came over here just to see what Doctor Who books they had, and according to the website they had 3 new series hardbacks signed by the authors: Peacemaker, Pirate Loop and Wishing Well, and I actually found those in the bookshop itself. I didn't buy them because they were 25 quid each, but the reason why I bring that up is because it adds validity to what I'm about to say. Along with discovering that on the website, I discovered that they also had I think a pink jacket, Frederick Muller original of the Daleks. I'm not 100% sure if it was a pink jacket or not, because they literally just showed a picture of the book without its dust jacket, so I cannot be certain if it was a pink Frederick Muller original of the Daleks, but I'm pretty sure it was, and considering they had those Doctor Who books, because they had those signed new series hardbacks, it's very possible that they had that pink Frederick Muller of the Daleks. Did I get it? No, I did not actually. Because A, I couldn't find it, and B, according to the website, it was £98, which no chance in hell I'm going to spend that much money on that book at this point, because I'm still very early into this holiday and I don't even have £98 now, thanks to a recent purchase, or mass purchase rather. But either ways, onto the 2 Target novelisations that I picked up from Barter Books. The first one of which being the Dalek Invasion of Earth. 1960 Target novelisation. They had loads of Target novelisations there. I just picked up the 2 that I wanted the most, as I could have very easily spent like £30 or £40 on Target novelisations in Barter Books, as they had loads of Target novelisations they wanted. So since I was still very early on into this holiday, I didn't want to spend too much money at that point, so I only got 2 of the Target novelisations that they had. First one I got was the Dalek Invasion of Earth. As you know, I'm trying to complete 60 Doctor Who, so it was only natural that I got this one. As a look at the front spine, which you can't really see well because of glare, and then the back. Looking at the copyright guff in this book, this is a second impression from 1979, and as you can see, it is in very good condition, very light tanning to the pages, and it's intact, and I would say this is in excellent condition for its age. Very, very nice to have in my collection. Don't really have a lot to say on this. Neither do I with the next Target novelisation I'm about to show you. I've got more of this because I thought in the future this would be a very good one to review, as it would be such an interesting sort of talking point, and I could probably even do a slam down if I was to like buy the other version of this Target novelisation, and I can like compare the 2 in a sort of a slam downy video, which would be interesting. Yeah, again, I'm not going to really talk on this much, but it's just such an interesting little book to have for my collection, and it was only £1.50, and so I can't really go wrong with that, and Dalek Invasion of Earth was £1.80, so you can't really argue with that. But either ways, this is the Target novelisation Junior edition of The Brain of Morbius. Very odd Doctor Who book, and probably not a lot of you know what this is, considering how obscure it is. Basically, the Target novelisation line, or Target, rewrote 2 of their Target novelisations for 6 to 8-year-olds, the two of which being The Brain of Morbius and The Giant Robot, which is very interesting. Both are published in paperback and hardback, and as you can see, this is the paperback of The Brain of Morbius Jr. So yeah, it should be a very interesting read. As you can see, it's just going to be quite an odd little read, and probably be a very good talking point for a future target video, because as I said, it would be a very good sort of future sort of talking point in the target video, in a future video, because target novelization reviews at this point are on a hiatus at this point. So yeah, there is that. It has loads and 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 loads loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of illustrations, as you can see. So yeah, should overall be a very interesting read. Very short Doctor Who book overall, as you can see. So yeah, there is that. The target novelisation Junior of The Brain of Morbius, and I got it 10p cheaper than the original price. Anyways, now we're moving on to what I'm going to call the Forbidden Planet, the Newcastle Forbidden Planet bundle number 1. Went to Forbidden Planet, or went to Newcastle yesterday, and went into the Forbidden Planet, and I got 5 Doctor Who books there. I'm going to say this is Forbidden Planet bundle number 1, because I might go back there later on this holiday and pick up some more Doctor Who books that I got from there. But either ways, on to the more delicious Doctor Who books in this collection update. These two I'm just going to show at the same time, as they are very similar. These are the signed editions of The Shining Man and Diamond Dogs. So yes, I stumbled across these two signed copies of these two new series books in Forbidden Planet, and as it turns out, they were actually £1 cheaper than their recommended retail price. So I got these for only £6 each, so you can't really go wrong with that. And they had loads of Doctor Who books there that I could have gotten. They had this Beneath Summerfield novella collection I wanted to have a look at but completely forgot to, so I might go back there and get that. And amongst all of that, they had copies of Diamond Dogs, The Shining Man and Plague City, the newest new series hardback or books in the line. And as with most Doctor Who books, they did a signing of these back when they were first released in London. And unfortunately for me, considering I live in Northern Ireland, I practically have zero access to, or zero easy access to signings of Doctor Who books. So it's very hard for me to actually obtain signed Doctor Who books that were at Forbidden Planet signings and like that. I just have to rely on second-hand bookshops and internet. Really, it's a bit of a shame that, but I'm still not complaining. I'm just happy to have these. So yeah, I can't really get access to book signings, unfortunately. So I would love to attend one day, but I doubt that, unless there was one to happen in Northern Ireland, which I hope. But either ways, as you can see, I only got signed copies of Diamond Dogs and The Shining Man, simply because they only had one signed copy of Diamond Dogs and one signed copy of The Shining Man, and they had no signed copies of Plague City. And they did have non-signed copies of Plague City, but I thought I might as well not get that and save money for other Doctor Who books. And so yeah, and I might as well try and track down a signed copy of Plague City on the internet. But either ways, I'm just happy to get these two signed Doctor Who books nonetheless. So let's take a look at them. So first one, as you can see, is Diamond Dogs, which is a reference to David Bowie. Not a massive fan of David Bowie, to be honest. I just can't really get into him as an artist. I don't particularly like his music. I find his music quite hard to get into. I can't really stomach an entire David Bowie album, but His greatest hits are good. Love, Space Oddity, and Heroes. But yeah, it should be interesting. Probably has a lot of David Bowie references that will fly over my head. You can see Mike Tucker's autograph there. So yeah, there's that. Don't really have a lot to say on this, and I probably will be reviewing these in the future, but they are not priority at this point in time. And next one, as you saw, is The Shining Man. So yeah, there's a look at the front, the spine, and then the back. And for the interior, we have blank pages, Doctor Who The Shining Man, and then the next page we have Cavan Scott's autograph, which is very sort of interesting. I love autographs like this where they're just sort of very sort of flexible and spaghetti. Very interesting sort of autographs. So yeah, and as I said, I'll most likely be reviewing these in the future, but are not sort of priority, because I'm much more interested in reviewing some other Doctor Who books at this moment, which I'll get into a little later on, or quite soon actually, rather. But yeah, there are those Doctor Who books, Diamond Dogs and Forbidden Planet. No, The Shining Man, signed from those Forbidden Planet signings when these were first released. Okay, it's Forbidden Planet, but I'm not quite sure how Newcastle got signed copies of these Doctor Who books. The Newcastle Forbidden Planet got signed copies of these Doctor Who books, because the signing was in London, Forbidden Planet, and when I was on the train to Newcastle, I saw a sign saying that London was 300 miles away. So I'm a little baffled that this Forbidden Planet actually had signed copies of Diamond Dogs and The Shining Man. So yeah, but I'm not complaining. Nice to have these, and hopefully I'll track down a signed copy of Plague City one day. On to spin-off Doctor Who books now, and quite an interesting and sort of sad thing with the spin-off Doctor Who books I'm going to open up with. As you know, I've been covering the Time Hunter books across my channel in the recent months. Did a massive unboxing of them back in April. Miscellaneous Madness Part 2, Doctor Who Collection Miscellaneous Madness Part 2, and I declared in that video that they might become my favourite Doctor Who book range of all time. I was seriously expecting it to be like the Jago and Lightfoot of the Doctor Who books for me, but this may sound quite harsh for an entire range, but the range has been very pedestrian for me, which is quite sad really, as I was quite anticipating them, but you know, unfortunately they're not amazing in my opinion, the Time Hunter range. And before you say, oh actually you're just being prejudiced, I've read the prequel novel Cabinet of Light and 7 out of the 11 main Time Hunter books that there are, so I've had quite a good grasp of the Time Hunter books, not counting Cabinet of Light as that's sort of a hybrid of Time Hunter and Doctor Who novella. So I'm not really counting that as that's a hybrid of the two sort of series of novellas Telos has done. There's one Time Hunter book that I can't give a definitive rating for, which is The Sideways Man. That's the second time I've done that blooper in my videos. The Sideways Door, I can't really give a definitive rating for that, but I can see it becoming a 7 out of 10 potentially. So yeah, I can't really give a definitive rating on that, but I would say it's a 7 out of 10 possibly. There are 3 other Time Hunter books that I have read that I would all give a 7, The Winning Side and 2 that I will not mention, two other Time Hunter books that I give a 4 each, and one that I will give a 3. That one that gets a 3 would be trying to think of the title of it. Peculiar Lives by Lance Parkin. No, not that one. The 3 out of 10 one being Tunnel at the End of the Light, which is awful in my opinion. I've done a review on that. So what I'm trying to say is that Time Hunter, I was expecting it to be the sort of, you know, Jago Lightfoot range of Doctor Who books for me, the sort of almighty spin-off range of Doctor Who books for me, but I've been a bit disappointed with them, to be honest. As I said, they've been rather pedestrian for me, and that sort of prediction has carried over into this next range of Doctor Who books. I've read one of them, which I have back at my house in Northern Ireland, and that gets an 8 out of 10, that single one I read, and the one I'm reading currently, which I have with me, gets a 9. So already they're better than the Time Hunter range, because, as you heard, the Time Hunter range is pedestrian, which may be a bit of a harsh criticism, but I can't really put it any other way. So what range is this that is sort of becoming the sort of Jago and Lightfoot of the Doctor Who books for me? It is none other than a recently created range of Doctor Who books that started in 2015, and it is called the Lethbridge Stewart books, or Lethbridge Stewart book range. First one, I've 3 here, and I possibly will be buying more on this holiday, as there was 3 more that I could have gotten in the Forbidden Planet in Newcastle. So first one I'm going to be displaying is Mutually Assured Domination. Yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. The Dominators and the Quarks are in this. I don't really think I need to say any more on this. I mean, it's got new versions of the Quarks, it's got a Dominator in a suit. I picked this one up simply because of how interesting a read I know this book will be, with the return of the Dominators and the Quarks. I don't really have anything else to say on this. I mean, it just sort of speaks for itself in a way. I have pretty much 0 expectations on this Doctor Who book, but I mainly picked it up for how interesting a read I know this will be. And I am a fan of the Dominators. It's a good story in my opinion, not the best, but it's just going to be such an interesting read nonetheless, because of the return of the Quarks and the Dominators themselves. So yeah, I can't really say more on it than that. It just sort of speaks for itself. It's a Lethbridge Stewart book that features the Quarks and the Dominators from, well, the Dominators. So yeah, there's that. Sort of speaks for itself. Mutually Assured Domination. The next one, sort of going in sequence here, we have, I'm not too familiar with what series of books this is from in terms of Lethbridge Stewart books, but I think this might be from series 2 or 3, and the next one I'm going to show might be from series 3 or 4, the one I'm going to showcase after this. But for the penultimate Lethbridge Stewart book, it is The Grandfather Infestation by John Peel. So yeah, again, I picked this up because of how sort of interesting it sort of sounded, and I haven't started reading it yet, but I will be reviewing this in the future. So yeah, it sort of involves sort of pirate radio and stuff like that, and the sort of fall of pirate radio thanks to these sort of Venus flytrap like characters or monsters called the Yuma, by the looks of it, or maybe that's a titular grandfather. I don't quite know, but it just sounded like a really good sort of novel to me, and I was sort of struggling admittedly with what Lethbridge Stewart books to pick out. There was this, Mutually Assured Domination, the one I'm about to show you, one I can't remember the name of, one other that I can't remember the name of, and Moonblink. So I just picked out the 3 that sounded the most interesting to me, and one of those was this, The Grandfather Infestation. We'll be reviewing it in the future. Can't really say much on it, but my goodness, is that cover striking and beautiful. So yeah, there is that, The Grandfather Infestation. Final Lethbridge Stewart book I'm going to be showcasing in this video, before I move on to the sort of unboxing of those Time Hunter books. We have the one I am currently reading, and that is Times Squared which is a very nice sort of play on words, as it's set in New York City, and as you know, there's Times Square in, well, New York, so that's quite a nice sort of play on words for the title of this book. And as you can tell, it's a return of the Yetis, because you've got this sort of big Yeti-like monster here with the control spheres there. So yeah, massively enjoying this one so far, and the and I just want to say this: the prologue that's in this Doctor Who book just made me want to scream. Oh my god, that is effing awesome! That is such a good idea for a setup for a Doctor Who book, and this without question will be reviewed in the future. And I will say that this is most likely going to be I will say this will be the first Lethbridge Stewart book that I will review on the channel, hopefully. And in terms of placement on the Skulls General reviews, I will say that this will be the 53rd Skulls General reviews episode. So yeah, there's that, times squared. And now for the sort of finale of this video that I can't really say much more on, because it sort of speaks for itself, is sort of scrapped unboxings for some Time Hunter paperbacks that I ordered online a little while ago now. And as you may or may not know, I tried the backstory behind these next unboxings is that, admittedly, I scrapped the entire Underworld update plan for that sort of Time Hunter themed one, because what happened was I was going to unbox every single Time Hunter book that I did not have yet in paperback: The Winning Side, Echoes and Deus Revolt, as well as The Child of Time. I managed to track them all down, including The Child of Time, for only a tenner. However, the guy that I bought from the guy that I bought The Child of Time from never actually sent me the book. So these unboxings have just been hanging around on my channel now, the unboxings of The Winning Side and Echoes and Deus Revolt. So yeah, that's the end of this section, but on to the scrappy, loose-endy sort of bootleg unboxings of Time Hunter, The Winning Side, Echoes. Hello everybody, this is Pitchcock Black here, and welcome to the next instalment of Underworld Updates, which is Underworld Updates number 69, I do believe. And today I'm going to be unboxing a couple Doctor Who books within the parcel you see here in front of me, as well as some other Doctor Who books as well. So without further ado, let's begin this unboxing. Not really a lot to say. Let's just have a little feel around here. Trying a different sort of camera angle this time, just sort of experimenting a little bit. So let's have a little look here. So I've got two Doctor Who books within the parcel here. And you might already be able to tell what it is. There we go. That's a bit easier. Now, what you see in front of you here are Time Hunter Deluxe Doctor Who books in hardback. This one and this one. Well, what these are Time Hunter paperbacks. Some of the Time Hunter books, or the hardback editions of some of the Time Hunter books, like Peculiar Lives, The Winning Side, Echoes, Deus Revolt, and or Deus Revolt, and The Child of Time, are all out of print and pretty rare. So to complete the range, I've decided to get a couple of decision to try and complete the range. I have decided to get a couple of the Time Hunter paperbacks. The first one in this parcel, and there is a couple more to be shown in this video as well, I will also show you, but the first one in this video I'll be showing is actually, as a matter of fact, the first Time Hunter Doctor Who book there is. So we have Time Hunter, the Sharpshooter logo, the main year that this Doctor Who book is set in, The Winning Side by Lance Parkin, Then there we've got Honro Lashur holding some sort of energy globe with a poster of some sort of leader in the background, I think. And then for the spine we have number 1 Time Hunter, the winning side, Lance Parkin Telos. And then for the back we have a sort of close up of that leader, the winning side, the synopsis, the original UK price, who designed the cover and who did the art, which is Nathan Skreslet and John Higgins, with the barcode telos.uk, .co.uk, www.telos.co.uk. And now for the synopsis. Emily is dead, killed by an unknown assailant. Honro Lashur is called to identify the body, but whoever should arrive there as well. But Emily. Honro and Emily find themselves caught up in a plot reaching from the future to their past, and with their very existence, not to mention the future of the entire world, at stake. Can they unravel the mystery before it's too late? Part mystery, part detective story, part dark fantasy, part science fiction, original adventures in time and space. And as you might have been able to gather already, this is the first one out of the Time Hunter series. So we've got Time Hunter, the winning side, Lance Parkin, ditto, copyright Guff, ditto, and then there we've got the start of the book with a prologue. Let's have a little look here. This is a 75-page long novella spread across a prologue and 7 main core chapters. And then there we've got a bit about the author, and then some blank pages there. Also available the tunnel at the end of the light, which is this little one here, and then sort of other sort of another Time Hunter book, The Clockwork Woman. And then there we've got advertisement for the other Telos novellas, or published by Telos. Another book published by Telos, and then just got the back of the book there with a little weird penciled in US down the bottom there, but I'm not too bothered about that. I'm mainly interested in the sort of book. So yeah, winning side, I don't know a lot about this Doctor Who book, but it's nice to have the opener to Time Hunter, and I will be reviewing this in the future, and hopefully very soon, as I hope to review all of the Time Hunter Doctor Who books in a special sort of one-off series for discussion reviews and marathon them all. And maybe I'll upload a review of this as a prequel whenever I get around to reading it. But yeah, there's that, the winning side by Lance Parkin, Time Hunter, Book 1. The next Time Hunter book we have is actually quite interesting, which I'll get into. We have Time Hunter Echoes. Then there we've got the Sharpshooter logo, 1995, the main year. Time Hunter, Honro Lashur with a sort of ghost coming out of him in front of this sort of technology thing that's in the book. Echoes by Ian McLaughlin and Claire Bartlett. I think I butchered that dude's name. Then for the spine we have number 6, Time Hunter Echoes, Ian McLaughlin and Claire Bartlett, Telos. And then we have a back sort of zoom in of the ghost. And then we've got the synopsis, original UK price, who did the sort of cover design and the cover art. The cover design is once again by Nathan Skreslet, and cover art is by Matthew Lasnica. And then there we've got the barcode, telos.co.uk, www.telos.co.uk, and then there we've got Echoes, or the synopsis of Echoes. Echoes of the past, echoes of the future. Honro Lashur can see the threads that bind the two together. However, when he and Emily Blondish find themselves outside the imposing headquarters of Dragon Industry, both can sense something is wrong. There are ghosts in the building, and images and echoes of all times pervade the structure. But what is behind this massive contradiction in time? And can Honro and Emily figure it out before they become trapped themselves? Part mystery, part detective story, part dark fantasy, part science fiction, original adventures in time and space. Then there we've got the innards, Time Hunter Echoes. Time Hunter Echoes by Ian McCullen and Claire Bartlett. Telos.co.uk, a bit about the Time Hunter range of books. Dedication. And then start of the book, a prologue. This is a 129 page long novella spread across one prologue and 12 main core chapters. Just checking if there's any interludes. Nope, there's no interludes. And then at the back we've got a bit about the author, acknowledgements, and advertisement for already published Time Hunter books, and Time Hunter film. Then we've got other books published by Telos, and there we've got a back there. Now here's the really interesting thing about Time Hunter Echoes. If we were to get this Time Hunter book forward, which is the Severed Man, as you can see on the spine there, and if we were to flip it at the back, there is this. The story continues in Time Hunter Echoes, and which means that these two books here, The Severed Man and Echoes, are a two-parter from the Time Hunter range, which is interesting. I've heard that you can read them standalone, so it might be a very loose this might be a very loose continuation to this. However, it would be nice to read them in sequence in my marathon of all of the Time Hunter books when I get Deus Levolt and The Child of Time. But nonetheless, it is quite nice to have the second part to The Severed Man. Maybe it should be called The Severed Echoes or something, who knows. But yeah, Echoes, I don't really know a terrible lot about this book, but out of my Time Hunter marathon that I am planning, The Severed Man and Echoes themselves are two Time Hunter books out of this little marathon that I'm going to be doing. Is something that interests me quite a bit. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know a lot about Time Hunter Echoes. But yeah, there's that. On to the next unboxing of this video. Righty then, on to the next unboxing of Underworld Updates number 68, in which I'm going to be unboxing the delicious book that's in this parcel here. What Doctor Who book can it possibly be? Let's open the parcel and find out. I think I know which one this is, but yep, it's that one. This is Time Hunter, Deus Levolt. So yes, I now have an almost complete set of the Time Hunter range of books. As you can tell, I just opened the winning side and Echoes, and now I have Deus Levolt. All I need left now is the big one, Child of Time. Do I have it or don't I have it in this video? We're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, without further ado, let us take a look at the presentation of Time Hunter, Deus Levolt. So we have Time Hunter, the sharpshooter logo, 1098, the main year that this book is set in, Deus Levolt, John D. Berg Miller, and then we have I don't really know who this character is, but some sort of warrior from the time that this book is set in, which I think might be set in Hungary or something like that, as the title itself is Hungarian, with sort of nice sort of stony sort of marbly background with the villain or monster from this book, as you might be able to tell what monster it is, and but yeah, I'm just going to leave that up to the imagination unless the back blurb says it. Then for the spine we have number 8. Is this going to focus? I don't think it's going to focus, but then we have on the spine, and it focused. We have number 8, Time Hunter, Deus Levolt, John D. Berg Miller, Telos. And then for the back of the book we have a snapshot or section from the cover, Deus Levolt, the sort of synopsis of the story, and then the tagline for the Time Hunter books: part mystery, part detective story, part dark fantasy, part science fiction, original adventures in time and space. The original UK price, the original US and Canadian price, who did the cover design, and then the cover art. Cover design is by Nathan Skreslet, and cover art itself is done by Matthew Lazanika. Then there we've got the barcode, telos.co.uk, www.telos.co.uk, Telos logo. And now for the synopsis. Deus Revolt, God wills it. The cry of the First Crusade in 1098. Dispatched by Pope Urban to free Jerusalem from the Turks, Honro and Emily are plunged into the middle of the conflict on the trail of what appears to be a time-travelling knight. As the siege of Anatosh draws to a close, so death haunts the blood-soaked street, and the Fendal, a creature that feeds on life itself, is summoned. Honro and Emily find themselves facing angels and demons in a battle to survive their latest adventure. So yes, as you probably do know now, that's a Fendal shadow, and since the back blurb said that the Fendal are in it, I am not considering that a spoiler. And then for the interior of the book, we have Time Hunter Deus Revolt. Time Hunter Deus Revolt by Jean Lieberg Miller. Then we have various copyright guff. A bit about the Time Hunter range of books, dedication of this book, and then there we've got the start of the novella itself. This is a 93 page long Telos novella spread across 14 chapters overall, with no prologue or epilogue. Then at the back there we've got acknowledgements, and then there we've got a bit about the author, and then there we've got advertisement for Doctor Who books already published in the Time Hunter range by Telos. And then there we've got the Albino's Dancer advertisement, which I actually have a misprint of. Then we have Time Hunter film advertisement for the Time Hunter film Deimos Rising, and then there we've got advertisements for other books published by Telos, and then there we've got TV and film guides, Hank Johnson books, and then they've got a bit about Telos and stuff at the back, then online ordering and stuff. So yes, that was the unboxing of what is the 8th book in the Time Hunter range, Deus Revolt. Very happy to have this Doctor Who book in my collection, and as I've said already, I am not a collector, I am a reviewer, so I don't mind what edition of the paperback I get. And so yeah, there is that. That's what I have to really say on Deus Revolt. But yeah, there we go, that's the unboxing of Deus Revolt. Onto the next section of this Underworld update.